everyone is asking me how I do my makeup, and I figured I would do a little video and show you guys how to do it. It's kind of long, so I decided that 3 steps was the best. Skin, and then like foundation, yeah, skin, foundation, concealer, blush, bronzer, all that kind of stuff, and then the actual eyeshadow itself, and then eyeliner, eyebrows, and mascara slash fake eyelashes, because fake eyelashes are key. So step 1, after you've washed your face, you've been through all your facial treatments, you're going to want a really good primer, because if you don't use a primer, then it ends up coming off with your first client and you're constantly like reapplying makeup, and it's sort of a waste of your time, right? So right now I'm using a Rimmel primer. The best one that I found so far is from Quo. It's relatively inexpensive compared to other like professional brand primers. However, Hamilton doesn't have professional brand primers, and Hamilton does not have the Quo primer. So I'm making do with Rimmel because that's what they had at my drugstore and I didn't have time to go to Sephora. So I just take like a little dollop of it, and then I put it on my skin. What it does on top of my moisturizer is it'll make my foundation stick. And that's kind of my key concern, because I don't want it to throw off my clients. But I want my skin to look perfect, and my skin is far, far, far from perfect, as you can see with my like naked, no makeup. So step 1, just very carefully kind of like rubbing it all in. I use my fingers. You could use a brush, but that's a waste of your time and it gets your brush dirty. But if you're really picky, it has to be absolutely perfect. I would do that. Okay, so step 1, I've got this sort of skin-colored primer. The really good Quo one is actually clear and it's silicone-based, but this one is not silicone-based and it's a water-based, which at least it's non-comedogenic, which means it won't clog my pores. And then I just sort of apply it all over my face. Step 2, I find a foundation that matches my skin color. Right now, I'm trying out this whole mineral foundation idea. I don't know how I feel about it. I still think that Chanel, I don't have a Chanel one with me, but I still think that Chanel makes the best foundations for my skin color, just because they do like kind of like a salmon-y pink that's not too orange, it's not too brown, and it works really well for me. So I just take my foundation. Mineral foundations are like powders, and I take a kabuki brush. Kabuki brushes look like this, like that, and I dab it in like that into my foundation, and then you get like a lot of like extra crap on it. It doesn't distribute very well, so I use my lid to like make sure that all of my bristles are evenly like coated and not too coated anywhere, and then I just apply it all in big circles all over my face, and I start blending it all in, because you don't want like that ugly line that a lot of girls have, right? And you also don't want to look like you're wearing makeup when you're in a call, even though I'm definitely wearing a shit ton of makeup. And I do my other side. I do the top of my nose. I get like a lot of redness everywhere, but specifically like I have problems under my eyes, and I have problems with all the little blemishes that I let my skin accumulate because I am not super good to it. So lots and lots of blending going on. And then once I have an all over skin color, I oftentimes have circles under my eyes, which I have right now. So I will grab a concealer brush. A concealer brush kind of looks like this. It's a stiff bristle. It's relatively short. And then I will stick it into the leftovers on the lid, because I want to save most of it. Oh, you can't really see that. Like that at the bottom. So I'll just kind of stick it in and I'll absorb it all. And then I'll go in under my eye and I will just kind of fill in all the blank spots that I missed. And I'll do the same with the other eye. And also, like, because I usually have lots of mascara on and my eyeliner is super good and really permanent, I have to conceal over some black smudges sometimes. And then any place else where I have pimples going on, so right now I've got a little bindi right here, and I've kind of got a little like lip piercing going on out here. So I'll just do it all around and make sure that my skin looks even and perfect. The cool thing about the mineral foundation is because it's a powder, I don't have to set it with a powder, but if you are using like a cream foundation or a liquid foundation, I find it really helps your foundation stay to A, use a primer, and then to B, cover it with a loose or translucent powder afterwards. Right now I have Marcel's translucent powder. You can get it at a drugstore. It's like $15, and this has lasted me 3 or 4 years. It's kind of like a sifter top, like that. But the best one is the Laura Mercier one, which is amazing. And I decided that I didn't want to spend $40 for powder that I wasn't using anymore, but I still lust after it sometimes because I love makeup. Step 2, after I've done my foundation and my concealer and it's all really well matching to my skin tone, and I've done my primer so it's all really going to stick very well, I grab a angled contour brush. Angled contour brushes are kind of like a blush brush, but they look like that instead, right? And a blush brush looks like, this is kind of like what most people use for blush, and it's sort of all around, and it's like the classic shape. A little bit better than that is the angled one because it'll let me start contouring my face because I have a really round, small-eyed, kind of plain Jane type face, but I can make it work with lots and lots of makeup. So I grab a bronzer. This is the Balms one. It's about $15 and it's called Bahama Mama, and it has no shimmer in it, which is what I prefer just because shimmer in the summer is kind of cute, but in the winter it starts looking really tacky when your face is shiny. And then I look at my face and I judge where my cheekbones are. My cheekbone is right here, my cheekbone is right here, but you can't really tell without makeup. So I just kind of underscore where my cheekbone is. I'm doing it really dark so you guys can see it. And then it's sort of like there, right? Underneath where I would put my blush and where I want people to think that my face is really chiseled and really defined, and it's not actually. And then anything that's like too dark or too sharp of a line, I just kind of use my fingers to blend. Or I could use my little kabuki brush and I could go in and I could blend it that way too. So that is my contouring on my cheeks and then my foundation. The other thing that you can do if you want to contour and you have a big nose like me and it's something important, you can just dab a little bit into your bronzer, your non-sparkly bronzer, and then put a little line on either side of your nose to help slim out your nose a little bit in the camera. And then you can also do a little bit under here and under here if you have a double chin, which I have often. So like that, all blended, and then now people have an idea of like where the light is, or sorry, where the dark parts of your face are. Step 2 for me is to grab a blush. Right now I'm using the brush that came as part of my mineral foundation kit. It looks like this, and the color is sort of here. It's a little bit dark, but used sparingly, it works really well. And for escorting makeup, you have to have really dark cheeks because it fades. It fades really fast. The other color that I really like is Hot Mama. It's by The Balm again, and it looks like NARS Orgasm blush. So it's like a pink. You can't really see it, but it's pink and it's gold and it's kind of sparkly at the same time. I use that in the summer, but in the winter I prefer to use something that's a little bit more subdued. So I take my blush brush. It's the one that I just showed you. It's the one that's sort of round all over. I dab it really carefully, and then I blow off any of the excess. And then I just do a smile. And you see how like my line is below my smile, right? So I just apply it on the apples of my cheeks, and then I sort of fan it all out. Like that. And I blend it all in. And then I do the same thing with the other side. So I apply it to my apples of my cheeks. How do I show you that? Apply it to the apples of my cheeks, and then I just blend it all the way in, all the way out. And it looks really, really dark when I do it at first, but it calms down and it looks perfect for being a hooker. And people actually think that you have no makeup on when in reality you've got a ton of it going on. So in the cheeks, apples of the cheeks. If I was really concerned about what the client is going to think, I might also grab my highlighter and do a third layer on my cheeks. Highlighters, this is The Balm again, Mary Lou Luminizer. It's pretty basic. It looks like that. It's kind of like a clear, sparkly skin tone color. And for this one, I would use my, I would use my angled blush brush. Just do a gentle sweep in there. So now I've got my blush covered. And I do right along the top. So where I want the light to hit on the top of my cheekbones, my imagined cheekbones, because I have none. So what I've done is I have created a shape to my face that my face doesn't actually have. But I can lie and I can fake it through makeup. Once I'm done all that stuff, I usually take a time out and go for a cigarette because it's a lot of work and it's not really a lot of fun. Step 2 is my eye makeup, which I'll show you guys in a second, my tricks and tips for keeping your eye makeup in place while you're working. And then I'll move to eyeliner, which is incredibly important and probably the most important part of all of this. And then eyebrows and fake eyelashes / mascara, because both of those are important too. Talk to you guys in another 5 minutes.